Hello YouTube, and welcome to another review, and this time we have Black Powder's American War of Independence Hessian Regiment, and this is circa 1776 to 1783, which was pretty much the duration of that war. And these particular regiments were hired by the British. As a lot of people say, mercenaries. They are mercenaries in their most basic form. They're not trained by the British, they're in the pay of the British, but pretty much they're working for money. So in all sense and purposes, these guys were mercenaries. And like I say, employed by the British. They're just simply titled the Hessian Regiment, although there was numerous actual armies that the British did use from the Germanic regions, Brunswick, Bayreuth, just a few, but the main amount of troops that the British took on employ were from Castle Hesse Castle. These were very professional troops. Where they didn't have enough, they'd scrape up from obviously the local villains and things like that, just to make up the numbers. But in truth, Britain got a good deal. They got good men, and they served in virtually every battle during the American Revolution, although you'd struggle to find a mention in any of the books. Obviously most notable for the Battle of Trenton, where Washington completely outmaneuvered them and caught them really without much of a fight going on. Quite possibly Washington's greatest victory, except Yorktown, but Yorktown was a joint effort. So, great manoeuvre, and caught them napping. On the front you've got Grenadiers. Now if you've seen or watched my previous video, you'll know I'm not amazingly keen on the artwork. The artwork on this one is a lot better than the British Infantry box set from the same period, which I reviewed. Just obviously, you know, this bit here I would say just isn't great. Just got the perspectives wrong. But aside from that, it's it's an improvement on the British Infantry box, which wasn't exactly great. I mean, there's a lot going on here. They look purposeful, and they look like they mean business. So this one's marginally better. If I just spin it around, I got damaged here. I got this through Amazon through another toy store, but I've got damage on the corner, which I wasn't too happy about. But there you go. Now on here we have, they've obviously opted for the option of the tricorn hat on here. If I was going to do these, I'd probably use the Grenadier hats. And this actually comes with, you get Grenadiers, Jaegers, and you get the Fusiliers. So you get various options again. And these, I haven't actually looked properly inside on this box, but they look pretty good. I'll go through the flags and things later. What the box set does say it contains, if I just keep the light off there, is 30 plastic Hessian infantry, and that's 24 musketeers, fusiliers or grenadiers. So you get the same amount in grenadiers if you so wish, including a command group of 2 officers, a sergeant drummer and 2 ensigns. 6 light infantry Jaegers. They obviously come on top, so apologies for that. They will only be, you'll only be able to make up 6 possibly. And obviously you get the 4-page background guide, including the 14 full-page colour flags, yeah, which I've gone through. I know I've got a rough sort of interest in the American Revolution, so I know some of these flags, but in the regiment, so that I'll make known. I don't script anything with these things, I just go with it. Looks pretty good. I do quite like the photos that they do show on the back. Like I say, I suppose the front doesn't show you what options the box set does come with, but you know, as long as you read the back, it'll tell you. So most people do, so no need to worry there. And yeah, that'll sort of do. I think we'll have a look at some flags and instruction sheets. So let's have a look. So I'll go straight in with the pamphlet. We have got the colour photos of a couple of the sprues here. This is the Hessian Infantry frame and the Hessian Command frame. So it's a generalisation. I'm presuming the other frames are repeaters, so they only need to show these two for that reason. Yeah, there's general. As I've gone through this, it's very similar to the British one, so it's just telling you how you can pose these guys. Short on there. Fusiliers and Grenadiers, I think I've read through this with the British as well, but let's have a little, because they are slightly different and because they're from a different country. Other than, so this is Fusiliers and Grenadiers, other than their short mitre caps, Fusiliers were dressed as per their musketeer counterparts, as seen above. So that's this chap here. Yep. And just pretty much is it. As seen above, the cap plate was the same colour as its regimental buttons. The tallest and the toughest soldiers would join the Grenadier companies and be recognised by their tall mitre cap as shown to the right. And that's this chap here. And I mean, if I was going to build these, then these would be the chaps I'd probably build. Heads, the type of headgear generally denotes a type of infantry. Yeah, we know that. So they've got this all marked in the frames, just so that you don't make any mistakes. So they've got it coded. Moves on to your drummer, and that pretty much says parts march K will be the drummers. So that's easy enough to go by. Officers, choose from parts H. So that's pretty good. They're making it easy for you when you think of it. Sergeants use parts I for sergeants, such as this NCO with a spontoon. I can't remember having this sort of explanation on the British instructions, but could be wrong. And parts as extras in this as well. Parts marked X are optional extras that have been included to allow you to convert your models or to add more atmosphere to your battlefield. So that's interesting. Don't remember that in the British pack, so there you go. Hair cues, yeah, so I know this because I had a brief look because I thought, you know, what are they? And they're actually pigtails and things. So okay, tied back with a ribbon. These should be attached to the back of the hair as seen on this Jaeger. So there he goes, and you can tell he's a Jaeger. He's painted green, and obviously he's got the tricorps hat, and just his general appearance, you can tell he's a Jaeger. No bayonet because he'll be a rifleman. Jaegers, experienced hunters and foresters, Hessian Jaegers carried the highly effective short high caliber hunting rifle. Jaegers were obviously the best of the Hessian troops and superb light infantrymen. Yeah, because I think the British actually demanded more Jaegers when the Germanic regiments came over. I think they were quite impressed with them. So all in all, that gives you a good little like I say, if you read books on the American Revolution, you'd actually think there was hardly any involvement with the Hessians apart from Trenton, but trust me, there was I think they made up about a third of the British army over there. So in reality, though, casualties seem quite low from what I've seen, so read into that what you will. The name from the, yeah, so like I say, this gives, I've probably already gone through this, but taking their name from the German state of Hesse, from which most of them hailed. Prior to the American War of Independence, Hessians fought for the British during the Jacobite Rebellion. This is correct. And military tradition of mercenaries for hire. Their local rulers funded their own governments with the proceeds. Yeah, because I think there was, especially in Hesse Castle, because it had a war previously to that, I think there was a lot of rebuilding, so I think the prince with the money just put it back into the country, really, the money that he made from the British. Now the flags are interesting. I'm going to skip the rest of that because I think I've covered quite a bit, but I'll add in other little bits as we go. Now I've checked the flags, and the only regimental flag I could not positively say were there was, I think it was Bose. Was it Bose? We've got Nipphausen, obviously there. Bose. Bose was the one which I had trouble sort of checking my history on. It does state at the top here, it was very difficult for them to actually, you know, pinpoint all the regiments, because a lot of it's been lost in history and everything like that. So there was no definitive actual record. So these have been researched courtesy of Dr. Leslie Prince, who's obviously been their historical sort of guy who's actually been looking into the historical element. And through my books, the only one I can't find anything on was Bose, but you know, I'm certainly not saying this guy's wrong. He probably is correct. I mean, I've only got a few books, so you know, there you go. But on my book I couldn't find Bose, but I found all the others, and obviously the world famous Regiment von Rahl is there. I think he's got a Grenadier flag as well, because he does have am I wrong? So Regiment von, yeah, Grenadier, sorry in the same. So there's your Grenadier Regiment von Rahl. And like I say, I think I prefer the Grenadiers, and they're the guys with the stripy pants and the Toy Town moustaches, which, I mean, I don't know how, if, you know, whether I'd be scared or not if I saw them coming over a hill or not, but I imagine they'll be chanting in German. It was probably quite scary. So yeah, but on the whole, so there's plenty of regiments here, and like I say, there's only the Bose one that Musketeer Regiment von Bose, Musketeer Regiment von Bose. So we've got two but different colours. So not too sure on those two, I don't know. But obviously von Rahl everyone knows about, Trenton, and there was, as well as accompanying these regiments, there was also a artillery regiment, and they were, I think the biggest caliber gun they brought over was a 3-pounder, which isn't massive. I mean, nobody's running, I don't think Black Powder are running any Hessian artillery or anything, so you know, maybe that'll come, who knows. So let's have a look at the sprues. So I am having a look at this for the first time as well, sort of, although I have opened the box and it's up to its usual standard quality wise. I'm actually showing the backs here first. I hope you're picking this up okay. I do like the rifles on these. These are coming through a lot better than the British ones. Look very basic. You can see, let me see, that's got a nice strap on it there. Whether that belongs to one of the Jaegers, it looks quite short. I don't know. Here we have a collection of the pigtails, I'm presuming. Yeah, they look like pigtails. Plenty of hats here. Flipping it round. Yeah, I mean, you know, the detail on these is really good. It is really, really good. And some of these weapons, they have the bayonets on. In fact, most of them do. So they're all ready for action, these boys. Definitely ready for action. No doubt about that. Nice collection of swords on here, which are very nice. And there's the Grenadier. That's there, so I can focus in on those. You can see there, so they're very, very nice. And Hesse Castle, that's correct. They've got the prancing line on the front. You may not be able to see that, but that was how you can mark them out to see your Brunswickers and other things like that. Hesse Castle had the prancing or prowling lion, as they say, almost like the Scottish one. So that's how they're very much identifiable there. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So I'll take that one away. We have standard fare. I'm not really going to show you the bases, but there you go. We've got 2 packs of those, and with your standard Warlord games on the reverse. So that's up to you whether you put any kind of scenery on. That's the same sprue, so we'll just give that. Let's see if we can get the officer one, which we have. And here we go. What do we have here? Let's have a little look. So very well detailed. The sash is coming through very, very well. A nice array of pistols and swords just rallying the guys forward. So these guys are leading from the front, you can tell there. Or leading from the side at least, but certainly on level, on par with the troops. Nice, we've got the spears there, which were initially, so I read, the Prussian officers were given spears rather than a pistol or a fusil. These I read were quickly abandoned in favour of rather a pistol or a long-barreled pistol, which I think is a fusil. Those I guess maybe might form some of the extras, I don't know. Got the nice backpacks here, a couple of nice, yeah, they're nice, they'll come out quite nicely. Let's see those, so they're quite good. More pigtails of course, and we've got the drummer. Very, very nice. More hats here. So these must be. Yeah, let me just check that so I'm absolutely certain, because I don't want to tell you guys anything that isn't correct. So I know the Grenadiers are the bigger hats. So yeah. So the shorter hats are the Fusiliers, and the tall mitre is definitely the Grenadier, and I think I've already covered that. So this guy here is the shorter. I'll just bring that down. So he's the shorter one, so he's the Fusilier. And they actually look pretty good as well, so I'd be inclined to run with either or for that. Just in comparison, there's our genuine Grenadier hats. So, but very good detail on them. And yes, they do have the mustachios. You probably can't see it on this, but trust me, they are there. They do have the mustache. Let me just try and get a better. Hope you can see that, but they have got moustaches, so they're all ready to go. Yeah, some of them have, some of them haven't, I think so. Yeah, and this sprue is just pretty much the same. I'm just double checking, but very, very good. And you know, the standard of this stuff's very, very high. I'm always very impressed, so I enjoy doing these reviews because they are really, really good. Great, absolutely great. So here's another look at their bodies. Equipment wise, what have we got? So a lot of these guys opted to stay in America after the war, It's probably got something to do with they had to pay for their own passage home, so that probably didn't help. So there was no help of the British there. Your mercenaries had to get on with it, pay for your own passage. But a lot of them did stay, and very professional soldiers indeed. How good they were and effective they were at the end of the war, I don't know, because if you're being offered 20 acres to desert from the British and 2 cows or whatever, it's probably quite tempting. There was reports of them being rather jolly at the Battle of Yorktown, you know, possibly because they knew it was over. I mean, who knows? But and I mean, there's other incidents. I'm sure there was one battle where they were pretty much seen to be bayoneting Americans who were surrendering. And I've read a couple of stories like that, not just one incident, but a few. So do I think these guys are a requirement for any war game or anything like that you're going to do? Well, yes, of course. If these guys were involved in nearly every battle, then most definitely they need to be on the board. So the only struggle you'll have is probably identifying which regiments were at which battles sometimes. I don't think that's as easy to follow. Otherwise, Warlord wouldn't have stressed, you know, we've had trouble sort of pairing up the flags with, you know, where they actually were, what regiments were actually sent. So all in all, and I got this set for about 20 English pounds. I'm very, very happy with it. Very, very happy. I'll probably cover the British side, so I'll do another one. I think there's I think I've got Indians to cover, so and there's one more. I think there's one more else, and then I'll start doing the opposite side. Probably start off with the Americans and finish on the French. But all in all, yeah, these are very, very good. Very, very good. I don't know how they shape up with Perry's. That I don't know. Although from what I've read and seen, I'm told they actually pair up very, very well. So we'll see. So I do apologise. I think this one's a bit long. Actually, I've gone a bit too long with this. I could have spoke a lot more actually, because. But yeah, nice enough flags. Very different and colourful in their own right. But no, that is our Hessians, as Warlord Games like to describe them. And I don't know whether anyone's going to release any Brunswickers or anything like that. It would be interesting if they did, because you know, the uniforms are quite different, especially the stripy pants and things like that. I mean, definitely these guys are certainly worth having on the battlefield. It'll break up the monotony. So there we have it. This was the Hessian Regiment by Black Powders, well, by Warlord Games and the Black Powder range. So very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah. Yeah, huge numbers of German troops were ferried across the Atlantic in all manner of exotic uniforms. Yeah, so pretty much saying what I've said there. Well drilled and eager to close in and battle. I must admit, I think they did like the bayonet as well. The British were very fond of the bayonet, and I'm pretty sure these guys were as well. So thank you for watching. I'll have to see what next one I'll review. I'll just have to have a mosey. So thank you for watching, and see you later. Bye bye.